So we start walking, and the bridge has kind of a crest, and so I think I was still on the Cincinnati side of that crest, but we heard some heard some cop cars and saw lights. I couldn't see the cars, but it was like, oh, what's going on? Okay, and this was after the car. We'll come back to that, okay? It was an SUV, yeah, and the marshals who had the vests on, like they're clearly people kind of like they're trying to keep people safe, and they were in front of the vehicle like, please stop, this is not safe to be driving through here. And the person just kept driving and like basically pushing them, so they were having to back up while the SUV was moving. It's very dangerous, very dangerous. So I don't know how the cops learned about it, or I don't know what happened on that side. I couldn't see that because I was on the other side of the crest. But what I saw is cops coming towards Cincinnati, some in the street, some on the sidewalk. Most of the protesters are on the west side of the bridge. There were a few people on the east side, and there was one guy, protester, who the cops were chasing and like shooting rubber bullets at him. That was a male cop, blonde woman cop. She had a long, some sort of gun. I don't know what it was, but it looked like she was shooting that at people too. And then like they would not let that guy go. Like he stopped running, and then they would just like run up on him. So I saw them grab him and try to arrest him, and the one guy who was the cop with the rubber bullets that was shooting at him, he started hitting him in the head, and they beat him. But the other cops were allowing it to happen, beat him down to the ground. I saw so many cameras out, like, people are yelling at the cops to stop. He's not doing anything. This is a peaceful protest. And people had their cameras out. Like, they had to know that 20 or 30 or 50 people were filming them, but they somehow felt entitled to keep beating that man. And then that wasn't the end of it. Then there was I guess they dragged him away. And then there was a woman who had been on this street. She crossed over on that, like climbed through the wire ropes to get onto the sidewalk, and the cops were pursuing her even though she was now on the sidewalk. And they wouldn't, they wouldn't let it go. It's like, okay, she shouldn't have been in the street, but now she was on the sidewalk, and they escalated it. And instead of just, talking to her or saying, whatever, or just letting it go, is like, no, they had to insist. And so they tried to arrest her, and she had her phone in one hand, and she was like holding on to the railing. Another cop comes up. It was the blonde woman cop who's going to try to help with the arrest, and the woman like kicked at her. I was really concerned that she was going to go over the bridge, that they were going to start grabbing and wrestling with her, and she was going to end up in the water. It was so irresponsible. It was like they are there to protect public safety, and they were attacking people and putting people in danger of falling into the goddamn river. The plan was we were going to march across, and then we were going to turn around and come back because people were parked on the Cincinnati side. There was a kid, there was at least one kid with parents who, I don't know, was maybe 10 years old. A young kid. And when the marshals and the clergy were like, turn around, go back to where we were on the Cincinnati side, and people were checking on each other, are you okay? And it's a long walk back, and we instead of staying on the bridge, as soon as we could, on the Ohio side, go down the steps. People were doing that, like get off the bridge, go down underneath. And so people were kind of checking in with each other there because you were losing sight as they went down the stairs. And I saw this family, like this little boy was just weeping and weeping from what he'd witnessed. And there were other people, young people who had witnessed it. I don't know if they knew the people who'd been beaten. I don't know, but they were so traumatized, you know. I'm really, really angry at the cops. I presume it was the Covington cops, but it was completely inappropriate. It was like, if we should not have been in the lanes of the bridge, okay, then you block the bridge, you get out, and you have your megaphone, and you tell people, you know, this is unsafe, you need to get on the sidewalk. Like, we are here for your safety, you need to get onto the sidewalk, right? And you talk to the marshals who had the vests on, you talk to their, you know, the protesters with the megaphone so that they can tell people, like, do what the cops are saying, get on the sidewalk. You know, they're clergy all over the place with their stoles, with their collars, they're clergy all over the place, right? Like, there are all kinds of leaders who are visible, and you go to those people and you say, you know, we need to get people to the sidewalk because it's not safe. That would have been the correct way to handle it. Is coming after people and then beating them down is I don't have any clean words to say. It's disgusting. I'm really angry. I want to know who that cop is, because it's the same cop who beat both of those people, and I want to know his name, I want to know his badge number, and I want to know what his boss is going to do about it, because that person should not be a police officer. I have a feeling that that guy joined the police force so that he could inflict violence and get away with it, and he does not care about public safety. So I'm angry. That's the short answer. I'm really angry.